Hello, today I'll be reviewing the USACO 2017 US Open Contest Bronze Problem 3 Modern Art. So art critics worldwide have only recently begun to recognize the creative genius behind the great bovine painter Picasso. Picasso paints in a very particular way. She starts with an N by N blank canvas represented by an N by N grid of zeros, where a zero indicates an empty cell of the canvas. She then draws 9 rectangles on the canvas, one in each of 9 colors conveniently numbered 1 through 9. For example, she might start by painting a rectangle in color 2, giving this intermediate canvas. She might then paint a rectangle in color 7, and then she might paint a small rectangle in color 3. Each rectangle has sides parallel to the edges of the canvas, and a rectangle could be as large as the entire canvas or as small as a single cell. Each color from 1 through 9 is used exactly once, although later colors might completely cover up some of the earlier colors. Each color from 1 through 9 is used exactly once, although later colors might completely cover up some of the earlier colors. Given the final state of the canvas, please count how many of the colors still visible on the canvas could have possibly been the first to be painted. So the input format, the first letter contains N, and then the next N lines is the N by N canvas. And N is going to be a small number from 1 through 10, so we know we can go through this grid as many times as we want without having to run into any time complexity problems. The sample input is a 4x4 canvas where the only color that could have been painted first is 2 with this rectangle, and then the 7 on top, and then the 3 on top. So when we're solving this, we can think that any color that has a color painted beneath it could not have been the first color to be painted. And also when we're looking for the output, we only have to consider the visible colors in the final canvas because the other colors are covered anyways and they can't be counted as an answer. Okay, so I'll get started by accepting the input. I will deal with the files later. I have to do the int of the input, and then I'll start with an empty canvas, and by looping through n times I need to add to the canvas the input. And since this input there's enters after each line, I have to use strip. So input, which is a string, and then I'm going to strip that. And since there's also no spaces, I have to use the list function instead of the split. Okay, so we got the input, and then I'll start with colors. So how I'm going to be solving this is I am going to find out which colors are visible in which rectangles, and then I will run through again and check which colors are on top of which colors. So for color in range 1 through 10, because I know there's only 1 through 9 colors. Okay, for each of the colors, I'm going to try to check the boundaries if it is there. So left, right, top, bottom. I'll start with 11 minus 1, 11 minus 1, so that I can always minimum or maximum the index to get the leftmost, rightmost, topmost, or bottommost index of the color. So for I and range length canvas, and then for J and range length canvas 0th index. Honestly, this can just go with N and N. Either works. I'll just do this because it's easier. If canvases IJ equals a color, the color that we're looking for, then left is going to be the minimum of left in J, so it will always count for the leftmost index, and then the right is maximum of right in J. Top is the minimum of top and I. Bottom is the maximum of bottom and I. Okay, so after checking for all the boundaries, if left is less than or equal to right, so if this color exists inside our canvas, I will say that color, so this is a dictionary, equals a list of left, right, top, bottom. So this dictionary will have all the colors that exist in our final grid and then the boundaries of each one. So after that, I will check the answer is set of all the colors. So I will be removing from here if this color is on top of a different color. So for color and colors, these are the colors visible, left, right, top, bottom. I will just get the same thing from the dictionary. And then for eye and range, top and then bottom +1, because I will be going from top to bottom. And then same thing with left to right, right +1, so that the rightmost value is included. If canvas's eye of j does not equal color, so if there's a different color on top of it, and then if canvas's I and j is in answer, so if it is still in the answer, which means that it could have been the first to be painted, so then I'll be removing canvas's IJ to make sure that the answer doesn't include this color because it wasn't the first to be painted. And that's it. At the end, I will just be printing answer, or I'll be printing the length of answer to get the number of colors. So let's check it out. And 1. Okay, there. So now I need to go back and make sure that the input and output is written into the file. So file art. So I will open art.n r as f. Oops. It should go here. And then I'll make sure this is all in here, and instead of input I need to say f.readline. Same thing here. And for the output, I'll just say with open art.out w as f.write string of length answer plus an enter after it. Okay, so that's it. I'll try submitting now. And there, I hope this helped and thank you for watching.